What if the SUV that normally idles outside five-star hotels suddenly decided it wanted to pick a fight with a mountain and win? That's the energy radiating off this thing. Look at it. Gloss black so deep it swallows the light. Then those blood red accents slashed across the grille and the calipers like war paint. And a wide body stance so wide and so planted it looks like it's bracing for impact. This is the Mercedes G-Class as you've never been allowed to see it from the factory. Rebuilt, bulked up, and turned into a luxury off-road brawler. And the question I want you to hold in your head the whole way through is simple. Is this monster something a real shop could actually build and drive? Or is it a gorgeous digital fantasy that would tear itself apart the second it hit a trail? Stick with me, because the honest answer is more interesting than the hype. Let me tell you exactly what we're looking at. Underneath all the muscle, this is a Mercedes-Benz G-Wagen, that iconic, upright, boxy shape that has barely changed in over 40 years. The same silhouette that started life as a military vehicle and somehow became the ultimate status symbol on the planet. That boxy body is the canvas, but almost nothing here is stock. Someone has taken the G-Class and thrown a full wide-body transformation at it, the kind of work you see from the heavy hitters in the tuning world. Think Hamann, think Mansory, think Brabus. My first gut reaction seeing it? Intimidation, then admiration. It doesn't look like a car you'd valet. It looks like a car that owns the street and then turns off the pavement just to prove it can. And that's the magic trick this build is pulling. It keeps every ounce of the G-Wagon's luxury DNA while wrapping it in genuine menace. Now let's break down the exterior, because this is where the real money and the real drama live. Start with those fender flares. The wide-body kit pushes the whole body outward with muscular, sculpted arches, and the best versions of this build rivet them on with exposed hardware so it reads like armor plating, not a smooth cosmetic add-on. That riveted look is a direct nod to off-road heritage, and it works. The front end gets a deep, aggressive bumper with a proper skid plate underneath. And the grille? Oh, the grille. They've blacked out the slats and then inlaid them with that signature blood red. And there's a thin light bar that glows across the nose like the car is staring you down. The headlights are smoked and blacked out with a sliver of red running through the daytime running light, so even the eyes of this thing look angry. Down the sides, you get chunky side steps, blacked out trim everywhere, and the roof is set up for a light bar so it's ready to turn night into day. The paint is the foundation that ties it all together, a gloss black body with a satin black hood for contrast, so the surface plays with light in two different finishes, and then those red accents pop against the darkness like embers. It's a confident, classic color story, black and red, the most aggressive pairing in the book, and they nailed the restraint, letting the red punctuate rather than scream. The wheels and stance deserve their own moment. This build rides on big 22-inch gloss black forged wheels with a deep concave multi-spoke face and a fine red pinstripe that echoes the body accents. Forged is the key word. These aren't heavy cast wheels. They're the lightweight, expensive stuff that real tuners spec because they can take abuse and still look like jewelry. Wrapped around them are aggressive all-terrain tires, the kind with chunky blocks that mean business, and the arch fitment is tight and clean, the rubber filling the wide-body flares perfectly. Behind those spokes, you can see the red painted brake calipers peeking through, another little detail that keeps the whole car speaking the same language. The stance is the payoff. Wide, lowish for a G, but still clearly capable of articulating off-road, planted and ready to pounce. It's that rare combination of show truck attitude and genuine trail intent. Let me talk craft and the clever details, because this is what separates a real premium build from a sticker job. The finish quality on a build like this is everything.
The panel gaps where the wide body meets the original body have to be flush and tight, or the whole illusion falls apart, and when it's done right, your eye reads the flares as if the car was born that wide. The two-tone black-on-black, gloss body against satin hood is a high-effort touch because it requires masking and separate clears, and it gives the car depth you feel more than you see. The red isn't just paint slapped on either. The best versions color match the grille inlay, the mirror caps, the caliper paint, the lower lip and the wheel pinstripe, so the accent travels around the entire vehicle in a deliberate rhythm. And the lighting integration, the red grille bar, the red DRL signature, a tasteful underglow that reads as a premium accent rather than a teenager's neon kit. That's the kind of detail that takes a build from modified to menacing in the best way. Materials matter too. Forged carbon trim, brushed metal accents, real leather and red stitching inside if the cabin got the same treatment. This is craftsmanship pretending to be aggression.
Now the part I promised you, the reality check. Is this real or is it a render? Here's my honest read. The black and red wide-body G-Wagen is absolutely a real genre. Hamann, Mansory and Brabus have all built blacked-out, wide-body, red-accented G-Classes, and people pay supercar money for them. So the recipe is real and buildable. But the specific car you're seeing across these cinematic shots is best understood as a concept render, a digital, idealized version that captures the spirit of those real tuner builds without being one exact existing vehicle. And I want to be straight with you about that, because honesty is the whole point of this channel. When you see paint this flawless, reflections this perfect, and a stance this dialed in every single frame, you're usually looking at a render that's been polished past what a real-world shoot would give you. That doesn't make it fake or worthless. It makes it a design study, a vision of what the ultimate version could look like. So would it actually work? Mostly yes. And that's what makes this build credible rather than silly. A real shop could bolt on a wide-body kit, run 22-inch forged wheels with all terrains, painted black and red, and wire up the lighting. The honest engineering questions are the usual ones. Those big wheels and the lowered-ish stance fight against serious off-road articulation, so you'd trade some suspension travel for the look. The riveted flares need proper tire to arch clearance, where they'll catch rubber when the suspension compresses. And a roof light bar and underglow have to be wired cleanly, so they're street legal where you live. None of that is impossible. It's just the real cost of turning a luxury SUV into a brawler. Compared to other builds in this lane, this one earns respect because it doesn't chase impossible fantasy. It's a heightened version of something genuinely achievable, and that's exactly why it looks so good. So who is this actually for? Let's be real. This isn't for the person who wants to rock crawl the Rubicon all weekend. The wheels and stance tell you it spends more time looking incredible than tackling boulders. This is for the buyer who wants the most intimidating, most expensive-looking G-Wagen in the city, the one who pulls up and every head turns, the one who wants luxury and menace in the same breath. It's a statement vehicle, a flex, and an absolutely gorgeous piece of automotive design. And as a concept render, it's a perfect mood board for anyone planning their own black and red G build. It shows you exactly how far you can push the look before it tips into cartoon. My honest final call? As a real buildable direction, it's a strong, achievable, jaw-dropping concept. As the flawless render you're watching, it's one of the cleanest black and red G-Wagen visions out there, and it absolutely deserves the attention it's getting, as long as we're all honest that the perfect version lives a little bit in the digital world. So that's the full breakdown. Would you roll up in this build, or is it a step too far? Tell me in the comments. I read every one. And if you love honest looks at the world's most extreme custom and concept vehicles, subscribe to Car and Ride Reviews and hit the bell so you never miss the next reveal. I'll see you in the next one.